Yeah, I've been skipping a lot. I'm almost at the end. Anno Domini. Look, I'll read you a part, and you guys can explain it, talk about it amongst yourselves. I don't need to hear about it. Uh, this calendar era is based on the traditionally reckoned year of the conception or birth of Jesus, AD, counting years from the start of this epoch, and BC denoting years before the start of the era. There is no year zero in this scheme. Thus, the year AD 1 immediately follows the year 1 BC. This dating system was revised in 525, and of course it would be AD, by for the person, you look it up, but was not widely used until the 9th century. Now, does that mean there's like, what, 2 years? Or does that mean the birth of this Jesus guy uh, didn't happen because those years were void? Like 1 AD 1 and 1 BC. So does that mean if there's like time travelers and they go back and they can, they can say, well, he didn't exist as a person. You can pretty much do an abortion and kill that guy, and it would maybe prevent a lot of wars from his followers, because his followers probably twisted the idea more every freaking year since then, no matter how what kind of calendar you want to do since then, right? It almost says like those years didn't happen. He wasn't really born. So, make up your mind and how you do things. But when things are that old or that linked to cultures, you can't even fix errors anymore, because you would outrage people. There'd be like nuclear weapons going all over the place. There'd be people training to be soldiers and dying for things that don't even relate to the original thing. Now, I wanted to show you a topic that's pretty important here is this. Whoop. Oh, that's annoying. And of course, I stopped giving money to Wikipedia when I tested it for things that were incongruent, such as the concept of, what epoch, geological epoch, that we are currently in. You want to call it Holocene, or do you want to call it Anthropocene? Because you can't have both, especially, when certain people say the Anthropocene was that long ago that it started. And what I wanted to show you, I guess, well, is kind of hard to find now, and it is a particular definition. Anyways, read this part. Just read this part. That's kind of an important thing to kind of learn about. And because for me, for example, how I explain that the ecocentric worldview is the best kind of worldview is it relates pretty much at the core of what we have access to, not in just understanding or proving or interacting with or belonging to, but that anything below and above that level of worldview or ideology leads to an evolutionary dead end. And there's a lot of vlogs where I talk a little bit about that. But the vlog of ecocentrism, of the biosphere of the planet that you evolved or were created on or live on and will be limited to living on for the rest of your life. And if we're talking about life now, instead of living for a fictional life later that may or may not be true, it's still wasting the life now. But the life now, like true kind of spiritual journey, would be to let go of the ego, to actually release and again, I don't want to tell you how you should visualize this, but to actually release yourself to the greater power you belong to, which is, of course, measurably only possible at the biosphere level, not at the universe or galactic or cosmos or, whatever other smaller, and when I say smaller, I really mean childish worldview below that, because a matured Homo sapien would evolve to the ecocentric worldview and not beyond that, unless things change, like an extraterrestrial visit comes and they say there's like a galactic empire of a different advanced, but until that comes, it is idiotic to go beyond and it's not even possibly true to go beyond that, because then you're starting to go into almost the supernatural. Although you might, do scientific calculations of how likely that is, it's still at this point it's beyond what is measurable with the abilities of our species. And it is not a way to waste a life. And I'm not talking about the philosophical aspects of it. I'm talking about life choices. Anyways, I don't even want to watch this part. It's really upsetting what happens to that woman teacher who really is, she is by far, whether this is historically accurate or not, some of the things that are consistent is she was respected by various groups, and that she was at a young age as smart as her dad in mathematics, astronomy, and other things, and also a respected teacher. So for me, she was the most evolved of characters, and it's very upsetting what happens to her. It's very upsetting what the church and many religions do to bring down women and raise the guys sometimes that take credit for things women did and not them, and that devolve even their own cultures and tribes by doing this, by ending the potential of women. It is so disappointing for me to be part of the same species as you.